All right, let's get right to it. Should I have a separate Amazon account to buy with and one to sell on Amazon, to sell on FBA? That's a good question. I know I don't believe you need to have a separate account to buy or another account to sell. I buy from the same account that I sell from, and but the rule is that Amazon says you're not allowed to use Prime shipping. You're not allowed to buy things on Amazon with Prime shipping to resell on Amazon. And if you accidentally do it once or twice, it's not a big deal, but Amazon does not want you to make a habit of using their Prime shipping benefits and services for things that you're going to just end up sending back to Amazon. So if you want to buy something to sell on Amazon, be sure you do not use Prime shipping. Change the shipping to standard shipping. And yeah, it's going to get delivered to you slower, but it's going to be at least going along with the Amazon rules. And so you don't have to worry about doing a separate account. If you want to do a separate account just to, have a difference with the money that you're because sometimes you're buying stuff on Amazon for your business. So if you just want a business account to buy on and a personal account to buy on, you can do that. But Amazon's smart. Amazon understands that you're using the same IP address. You're coming from the same location, so they're going to link those together. They're going to know they're connected. So if you do one account to use Prime to ship items to your house and then sell them with a different account, Amazon's going to know about that, and they're going to crack down on that. So don't try to break the rules or bend the rules. Just be sure you're not selling items on Amazon that you're purchasing on Amazon using the Prime shipping. So that's a really good question, and something that we all need to make sure. Are you a niche-based seller or sell whatever? Good question. There are some certain niches that we focus on, but overall, we try to sell anything that's profitable. When we first started, we focused mostly on books and toys. I've done a lot of research and learned a lot of I've learned a lot of stuff about selling board games. So we do a lot of niche sales when it comes to board games. But we sell home items, we sell kitchen items, we sell shoes, we sell clothing, we sell bras, we sell pants, we sell all sorts of things. We've sold grocery, we sold health and beauty items. Pretty much if we are able to turn a profit on it, we will sell it. And it's pretty good because there's certain things that we know about that are niche based that we might have some more information, like board games. And yeah, I know so much about selling on board games. I wrote a book about it, The Reseller's Guide to Board Games, How to Turn Play Money into Real Money. You can find that at fulltimefba.com/board games. But you don't have to be an expert of a niche in order to really make good money on Amazon. I like our balanced approach. We have some items that we know a lot about and learn and sell, but some items we just know they're really good because we've scanned it using Profit Bandit or Scoutify, and we've been able to see with our own eyes that it's consistently selling for $20 and I can buy it for $5. Yes, I'll get it no matter what category it is, as long, of course, as you are approved for that category. If you're ever curious if you're not approved to sell in a certain category, you can find that out on Amazon. You can even scan an item on the Amazon Seller app, and it will tell you if you are able to sell it at not. Okay, and the ranks show up on their store like Amazon's with the DS Domination add-on. Okay, I guess I missed the first part about what you were saying. I know you were talking about people buying, I think, in bulk and something like that. Anything that goes along with drop shipping or DS Domination, Amazon subsidiaries. Okay, that's something that I really don't have a lot of experience with or know a whole lot about. I know about DS Domination, the service they're all about drop shipping. And drop shipping is one of the things that I try to stay as far away from as possible. And I know DS Domination is starting to alter and tweak their strategies because a lot of their sellers got suspended because of the drop shipping that they were doing. Now, drop shipping is not against Amazon's policies, but it is against Amazon's policies for you to plug in shipping information late, and for people not to get items that they're supposed to, and for people to make sure they get the right items that they're supposed to get. and there's just too many question marks and too many things that could go wrong with drop shipping that I stay as far away from it as possible. So I'm not really in the know about all of that. Um, my sales seem to be a little down. Is this topical for this time of year? You know what? It's funny. Sometimes when I see people on Facebook and they're saying, you know what, my sales, they seem slow. Is anybody else? My sales are doing really awesome. And then other times people are posting pictures on, I had my best sales day ever. And I'm looking at my sales going like, I'm just barely even, I'm not even getting too close to my average sales, So it really is fluid. And it also depends on what kind of items that you sell. So, if if you're focusing on doing Valentine's Day bundles, St. Patrick's Day bundles, those type of things, right now you're probably going to experience some more sales now. But if you're focused if you have mostly items that are going to sell, somewhat, standard all year or somewhat steady all year, then there's going to be times where it ebbs and flows. There are some times where February is usually some of our slowest sales, but we had two of our most amazing sales days of the year in February that beat some of our Q4 sales, and it was like, what did we do? What did we do different? And it's always good to try to figure that out, what you did different, but a lot of times, sometimes sales just come and sometimes they go. And there's just so many things that it depends on. The number one thing that you need to be thinking about, if you're not able to have a clear idea on what it is, why you're not selling like you used to, is just continue to feed the beast. Continue that, and feeding the beast is the phrase that people on Amazon say, meaning keep sending stuff to Amazon. Keep sourcing. Keep sending. The more often you send items to Amazon, the more often Amazon gives you the buy box. It's like a little reward. The more packages that Amazon receives, the more often you get more of the buy box. And if you start to slow down and you're like, I'm just going to coast. I've noticed this. There's been times where I've left for a week and I wasn't able to send in any products for like 2 weeks. And I can see my buy box percentage, start to go down. And it's because I'm not feeding the beast. And even though I've got, thousands of items at Amazon warehouse, it doesn't, they weren't selling as fast. So always feed the beast, always be sourcing, always be sending stuff to Amazon, because the more consistent you are in sending items to Amazon, then the more they're going to give you a little bump in the buy box. I don't have I think I might do. I might have the link. If you go to actually I'll look it up. There's a book called the Buy Box Bible. It's a free book and it's awesome. If you go to fulltimefba.com/buyboxbible, all one word, it will forward you to a page where you can download this book. You have to give them your email address or something, but it's a free book, and they've done a lot of research. Amazon does not give out their buy box algorithm, but there's some pretty smart people that put their heads together to kind of figure out the best they could. So check out the Buy Box Bible. I think they should be selling it, but they give it away for free. So check it out, and that's something to think about. So, do you mostly send new items for FBA? Do you source from Amazon to resell? Do you use a business account or a personal account? Okay, so at the very beginning of this Q&A, we talked about making sure that you don't use Prime shipping if you're going to buy something to sell on Amazon. You don't need a separate account. I think it's a good idea to have a different business account and personal account if you're wanting to keep the finances separate. But you never want to buy an item using Prime shipping to sell that on Amazon. I go into it a little bit deeper. You can check that on the replay. But when it comes to buying new items versus used items, again, if it sells, we will sell it, whether it's new, used, collectible. But the majority of the items that we sell are new. Now, when it comes to books, the majority of the books that we sell are used. They're used good, very good, like new condition. But overall, most of the things that we sell are new. And it's mostly because, if an item is new, there are a lot less questions about if it's going to work, if the customer is going to like it, because people are buying things for gifts, you're going to get more sales for new items. You're going to be able to, not have to do a whole lot of work with them. But with used or collectible items, they take a little bit more work. They required a more detailed, they required a condition notes, detailed information and condition notes. If it's a book, you need to make sure you write that there's underlining, or there's notes, or there's pages that were dog-eared and things like that, or there's a remainder mark, or because if it's something is in new condition, it doesn't need any kind of condition note at all. In fact, it's against Amazon's policy to put any type of condition note if it's new, because new is new. There's no difference between different types of news. But when it's used, it takes a little bit more time. I sell a lot of board games. I sell new board games. I sell used board games. And again, it takes a little bit more time. I make sure I put all pieces are present and accounted for. The board game has been shrink wrapped so that all the items stay inside. And so that is something to think about when you're doing used. It takes a little bit more time, but there's plenty of profitable items that you can sell as used or collectible. But again, the majority of what we do is new because it's just a little easier. We've got an OA blog post coming up next week. That's right. We have an online arbitrage blog post on the blog right now. If you go to fulltimefba.com/start OA, we kind of give a beginner's breakdown of what we suggest for when you're first starting out with online arbitrage. And we're working on a blog post for coming up soon, which is kind of like a 2.0, kind of like the next steps with online arbitrage, how to go deeper and how to maybe take advantage of some more opportunities, and we're looking forward to that. So do you need to get ungated again to sell on a different continent? That's a good question. I know that you need to be, first approved to sell on a different continent. Most people who are selling in the United States, they're automatically approved for Canada and Mexico. But if you're wanting to, go overseas on another continent, you need to apply and open up. It'll be a completely separate account, and you'll need to, because you're going to be sending items to those other countries. Now, that's a good idea for some people. There's certain items that you can make more money on an item selling it in a different country. So it's something to think about. But when it comes to ungating individual categories, I'm not sure how the other countries work. I solely focus on Amazon.com from the United States, and so I'm not sure if they have categories that are gated and you have to go through a whole category ungating process. So that's a good question. And one I don't know the answer to. So, there are some FBA Facebook groups that are out there. I think if you search FBA International or Selling Internationally FBA, you can find some, and maybe you can ask some of them those questions or use the search bar and figure it out. When Amazon mails you the item to your buyer, do they show your home return address? No. When Amazon mails your item to the end buyer, it will be the address of the fulfillment center that it's coming from. So it'll say, in the return area, Amazon.com, something, Lexington, Kentucky, zip code, and that's it. They never give your address away. They never do that. The only way a customer would ever get your address is if you sent them a message and told them. But no, it's not on the packing slip. It's not on the return label. It's nowhere because they need to make sure the return label returns that item back to where it first came from, which is the fulfillment center. So there's nothing to worry about with that. So good question. All right. What other kind of questions do you have? Have you ever gotten denied getting unblocked in a category? There's been a time when we've tried to apply to get ungated in a category and we were denied. And when they deny you, most of the time they'll say, but here are the things that we need in order for you to get approved. We need, wholesale invoices or the original invoices for where you purchased the items. They need, and a lot of times we just kept trying until finally we got a yes. Other times we hired a service to take care of it for us and walk us through. Now, when I say take care of it for us, I don't mean I paid them the money and they did everything and I got approved. You don't want to hire a service that does everything for you because the whole point of getting ungated in a category is for you to understand the process. I mean, it's gated for a reason. They want to make sure that people understand certain rules and regulations about that category, how to best handle, what are the best practices are, and the processes for uploading flat files and all those type of things. And so you want to be sure that you, if you want to pay someone to help get you ungated, say in clothing or shoes or luggage or jewelry or something like that, you want to be sure that they walk you through the steps. And they make it easier, but they don't do everything for you. And that's what we did. We used the Selling Families category approval service. If you go to fulltimefba.com / let's see, I just want to make sure I get this right. If you go to fulltimefba.com / category approval, that will take you right to the place that we got our. We were able to get ungated in shoes in I think 48 hours. They walked us through what we needed to do, the images that we needed to use. We submitted a flat file. Amazon came back and said, okay, that's pretty close to what we need, but there's some changes that need to be, this part was missing and this needs to be added. So they helped us and walked us through the process, both the service that we did and Amazon. They helped us, figure out what we needed, and finally we were able to get it done, and we were ungated in about 48 hours. Now, it might be different for you. It might take longer. It might be shorter. But we used the information that we were able to do to get ungated for shoes. We just did the same thing and the same type of thing with clothing. The same thing that they helped us through with shoes, and just applied the same principles to clothing because they're very similar. And so I totally recommend the Selling Families category approval service, fulltimefba.com / category approval. It's kind of pricey, but it's worth it. It saved us so much time trying to figure, because it'd probably take us weeks. We'd get frustrated with trying to figure out what flat files even mean, how to do it, how to work it. Am I doing it right? Are these images right? And Amazon says no. And so, it's just something to think about. Do you have to buy products? In order to be ungated in a server? You eventually have to buy products to sell, but you don't have to purchase products and then go through the process of taking pictures of those products and sending them to Amazon. You don't have to purchase products before. You can wait till you're ungated. You don't need to purchase products in the steps of getting ungated. They give you examples and they give you ideas of what you can do, and then once you're ungated, then you can go sourcing and find the products that you want to resell. So that's a good question. Just learned about FBA. Are you shipping to a warehouse for sale later? Yes, that's what Amazon FBA basically is. There's two ways to sell on Amazon: merchant fulfilled and FBA. Merchant fulfilled is where you keep all the items yourself, list them on Amazon, and when they sell, you ship it out in your box with your postage, and your money pays for all that shipping and boxes. But FBA, you put all your items in one box or multiple boxes and send it to Amazon, where they store it, and then when it sells, they ship it, they take care of the postage, they take care of the customer service, and your customer gets it 2 days, airmailed to them a whole lot faster, and it's awesome. I totally recommend FBA. The fees are more than doing it merchant fulfilled, but it's worth it because right now I have thousands of items stored in Amazon. I couldn't do all that in my garage. It would just be crazy. So yes, both new and used items can be sold via FBA. Someone asked if I was going to the ASD trade show. I'm not right now. We plan on going sometime in the future, but we're not going this year. Someone asked if FBA sells faster than merchant fulfilled. Most of the time, yes. Most of the time, not only will it sell faster, people will pay more for it because they know they're going to get it in 2 days. When people buy something from merchant fulfilled sellers, they know it's going to get there slower, and they don't have as much of a trust for merchant fulfilled people, but they have more of a trust for Amazon and their third-party merchants, and they know they're going to get it faster. And on top of that, Amazon gives the buy box to FBA sellers. It's pretty rare when Amazon will give the buy box to a merchant fulfilled, and over 70% of sales, come from the buy box area on the sales page. There's not a lot of people who go and look at the bottom of the page and click, oh, there's 23 other new offers, and try to find a cheaper price, or try to find a merchant fulfilled person over in FBA. So someone asked a question about selling used items. Do you have to clean them up? Let's see. I also want to read this so I don't forget it. If you need to cancel a shipment in Inventory Lab because it only has one or few items, how do you cancel that shipment? Do you get a lot of returns from FBA? So good questions. I get the same amount of returns from FBA as I do merchant fulfilled, but I make a lot more sales. So the increased sales totally makes up for maybe a little bit more returns, and it's awesome. When it comes to Inventory Lab, and if I just have one item, I submit it through Inventory Lab to Amazon, and then I go to Amazon to actually print up the labels, and in the seller, in the shipment area of Seller Central, you can just open up that one shipment and go down and delete that one shipment. And it says, are you sure if you delete it, you can't reopen it again? I'm like, yes, I'm sure. Because I'll even, the shipment queue, that's right. Because, there's times where I have just one item, just one box of shoes going somewhere, or just one toy going somewhere, and I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to do that. I'll just wait and send that in next time, because, I'll just, add it to another shipment sometime in the future. So I'll just go and delete that one. And I might do that maybe once a week or so, where I delete a shipment that only has one item going somewhere. So that's a good question, and really easy and quick to do. Used items, no original box or cleaning. That's what I missed. Obviously you want to try to clean up a used item as much as possible. Like I try to clean up the book covers with maybe some Goo Gone if it's sticky, or magic eraser to get stuff cleaned up. So it's a good idea to try to clean it up as best as you can. How would you rather get a used item that's new, or that is clean, or one that's dirty? So it's worth doing. And then a used item, if it's not in the original box, you want to make sure that it's at least put in a poly bag so that it doesn't have any kind of connection to the outside, so that it doesn't get more dirty. Those FBA warehouses can be very, very dirty. But I don't know about Amazon saying that they would do a cleaning service for you. I've never heard of that, so that's something I'd have to look into. But if I've got something, I think overall, I would want to clean it myself to make sure that it matches the item description that I come up with. I would want to have that. So yeah. So really, really good questions. All right, we have time for one more question, and then we are going to be calling it a day. Can you walk me through shipping 5 items as an example to FBA? Right, that's our last question. So if you have 5 items, what you would do is you would take the item. Let's say we have 5 books. What I do is I use Inventory Lab. You can go to fulltimefba.com/inventory lab, and that speeds up the process of listing it. Some people can do it through Amazon. I like to go through Inventory Lab. I have a barcode scanner, and so I just scan the barcode on this book, and it shows up in Inventory Lab, and I find a match, and so I'm like, okay, it's this is in very good condition, so I'll pick very good condition. I'll pick the price that I want. I'll hit submit, and when I submit, my little Dymo printer will print, and I'll have a label that I stick, over the barcode, and just imagine that there's a FBA label here, and then I go to the next one. I go to the next book, and I scan it, and I type in the information, and then I go to the next book, and I scan it, type in the information. And so most of the time, if you're selling like items, they will send all of those items to the same warehouse. That's most of the time, not all the time. And then you just ship it, put it in a box, and then go to your seller queue on Amazon, print up a label. You tell them how how much the box weighs, if there's dimensions of the box, and they print out a label, and then you stick it on the box and take it to UPS, or have UPS come to your house to pick it up. There's a lot of different variables throughout all that process. Sometimes Amazon will say 4 books go here and 1 book goes over there. So Amazon tells you the warehouse, they give you the address, and they do all of that. And that's the whole process. Again, that might be something we can do a video on in the future about more detailed information about that. If you can't wait, I really suggest going to check out Amazon Bootcamp. If you go to fulltimefba.com/bootcamp, it's a course that starts you from the beginning all the way to sending into your first shipment and beyond. And it takes you through exactly what it looks like on Amazon, exactly what it takes to enter in all the information, how to make your best decisions when it comes to sourcing and pricing and all those type of things. Fulltimefba.com/bootcamp just gives you, it's the complete A to Z course to help you understand selling stuff on Amazon. I highly recommend it. It's awesome. That's all we have for today. I really appreciate you watching this video. And if you liked it, we'd appreciate you clicking on the thumbs up below. And if you want to make sure you don't miss out on any future videos, be sure you click subscribe so that you're notified when the new videos are ready. If you have a comment or a question, leave that below too. We do our best to reply to them as soon as we can. If you have a question, taking things maybe deeper, if you didn't understand anything, ask us a question. We'll help you out when we can. Or if you want to take things deeper and talk even more or add to the discussion, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you want to learn more about me and our website, go to fulltimefba.com. We give out free PDFs, free helps, free blog posts, videos, more stuff to help you take your Amazon business to the next level. And if you're looking for any links that we talked about during this video, you can find those in the description below. So I look forward to seeing you on the next video. I will see you soon. I hope you have a great day. Bye.